so it's fine.
It's cool.
I think. Huh?
It's cool. It's awesome that you're doing this. Let's
um,
see how many people we get. We're not. You have way more followers than I do, so
that's totally fine. Cool.
I
Well,
I had I had one person comment back with a laughing face because they're like, "Oh, legal drug dealer."
me too. I had a ton of people that were very much enjoying that aspect of things. It was hilarious.
Hmm.
So, how are you, legal drug dealer? How are you a
Yeah.
licensed and legal drug dealer?
How am I, or am I as one? Just taking a break from that to talk to you. So,
Cool. Well,
do
how?
we get
Okay.
to see how many people are in?
Um, kind of. I think it's different on Instagram. I see a couple people, a
Yeah.
few more people, and on StreamYard, I don't see any. We'll see how this goes. It's fine.
Yeah.
So, you are a pharmacist, or tell us, who are you, Alvin?
I'm a legal drug dealer, a pharmacist by trade, licensed to sell drugs, but I don't actually deal drugs like most people say. I'm not sitting behind the counter counting drugs,
Mm.
and counting pills and putting them in bottles for people. Although at one point in my life I was doing that. I started off, in the pharmacy as a pharmacy tech. Went to school for being a pharmacist, and in pharmacy school I used to always joke that when I graduated I would make a shirt that said I deal drugs on the front, and then on the back, my parents are proud. So anybody want to take my idea, and make sure you just send me a shirt if you're going to take my idea. But I do that, and then on the side, obviously, I'm doing real estate. I do private money lending. I have to date. I have a quadplex that I just acquired last week.
Mm.
Just sent out wiring funds for a 30-unit mobile home park today. We also have another 10-unit mobile home park in the portfolio, a short-term rental, and I also manage short-term rentals for other people. So that's me in a jiffy. If you need funds, you want to connect, anytime.
Woo!
All
That's awesome. So, um, I know that we met at the PML mastermind that Abraham, Alexis, Try and Prakash had kind of hosted.
right.
One, how did you hear about it? And then two, are you glad that you had went? Do you think that you got more value from it, or you kind of knew everything that was going on already?
No, absolutely. It was so valuable. I actually had the opportunity to meet Abraham and Alexis in person at Pace Morby's house. I went because I had lent money to Kevin Cho. Shout out to Kevin for flying me out to Arizona. And while we were there, we had the opportunity to hang out with Pace, go shooting with Pace, fly planes with Pace. And while we were there, Abraham and Alexis were shooting a recording for Gator. And what it was talking about was how not to lose money as a PML. And you might see us featured there for a few seconds, me and Kevin in there, hanging out with Abraham. So, I learned so much from Abraham just in that short, 20, 30 minutes of recording, maybe more than that. But when I saw started seeing ads, Instagram and the internet knows exactly what you're into and they'll advertise it to you. So I
Yep.
saw the PML Mastermind. Alexis obviously sent it to me as well. So I signed up and got around to meeting you and so many other great lenders. So it was a great experience. Learned so much.
That's awesome. What are some takeaways that you're going to start implementing from there?
How to protect yourself. So many private money lenders, when you start out, you're playing with smaller amounts. You're not millionaires, or at least I'm not a multimillionaire with millions out on the street like Abraham and Chai and Prakash. So what most people do is they think, oh, just because it's on real estate, I'm secured. You don't understand that there's a lot of risk involved and a lot of costs associated with that security that you have that's backed by real estate. Even though you are backed by real estate, you need to make sure how much equity is actually in the deal, how much the first position lender is owed, what their fees are going to be, and what you're going to be left with in terms of scraps or remainder as the second position if you're a second position lender.
Mhm.
So learned so much, but that and all the laws and governing things as well.
That's awesome. Because I know for me, when they brought up usury laws and just everything and talked about like foreclosures and how different states are different when it comes to that, did that make you want to zone in on one market, or like describe
Absolutely.
more your strategy?
I think shout out to Eric. I don't know his last name, but Eric at the meeting definitely drove fear into all our hearts. No lending in California and New York, and probably Hawaii too. Even though I would love to go to Hawaii, but can't
Yep.
lend there. Um, the usury laws were a eye-opening thing. I knew about usury laws too, but all the information presented was really helpful. The breakdown of the chart of exactly what the types of usury laws are in each state really helps us to identify what markets and what states you want to be a lender in and what
Hmm.
to look out for in those states.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and I think you mentioned this earlier, but what do you lend on? Like, what are you looking for?
I will lend on EMDs, double closings, private money lending, and PMPs. So your fix and flips, your wholesale, wholesales, wholetails. If you got deals that would fit my buy box as a PMP, if you want to be a partner on that, actually this 30-unit mobile home park that I'm just sent wiring out on today is a PMP and PML deal. So not only will I earn interest during the time of the hold, but I'll also earn a portion of the profits when it's sold. So
That's awesome. That's cool. So people can be a private money lender and a private money partner at the same time.
yeah, I mean, we're in the world, the land of creative finance, right? So it's all about getting creative, making those networking and partnerships. It's got to be a win-win situation for everybody, right?
Mhm.
So there's no one side wins all in my books. If it's not benefiting the other person as well, then they're not going to do deals with you in the future, and you're not going to build that ongoing revenue as well. So
Yeah, absolutely. And so, like how you were saying, kind of building those relationships, is that, I mean, how did you even get into this 30-unit mobile home park?
through those connections, this is actually a partner of mine. We own the 10-unit mobile home park together, and we bought the quadplex together too. And on this one, I'm gonna beat him up for saying, doing this, but he didn't cut me in for 50% on this one. So he's like, just lend it to me. I'm like, fine, make me a PMP instead. So, when I see him, and I'll send this to him, and make him laugh in his face about it. But still good. We still make money. It's all, we have that relationship and that trust, and he sourced the deal. So whatever works for the both of us.
That's awesome. And so what markets are you lending in again?
I haven't really drilled down exactly yet to what states I'm
Nice.
excluding or including, but definitely, your Texas, Arizona, Georgia, and those three for sure. Some others we'll see.
Mhm.
But you bring me the deal, I'll examine it. If the deal looks good enough and the underwriting is good, the borrower is good, there's no reason why I wouldn't lend on something
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. And
if it checks out. That is.
and then lastly, or like the last question I guess was like how do you feel now that you, like, okay, so for me, I understand coming from kind of like, oh, okay, I don't really do social media a lot, and then now coming into this space, I have to be a part of things much more and like actually start learning how to build those relationships, and it's really difficult to stay with it. How did you know that? Like, how did you know to just keep connecting with people and keep building those relationships?
I think as right before this live, I actually just saw a meme. If you want to go fast, go alone. I think it was actually on Kevin Cho's post that he shared.
Ah,
If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. So you can only go so far on your own, and networking and building those relationships is where it really is. Uh, I was telling a friend of mine that is looking into a PML deal with me, is that your network is your net worth, and it's so cliche, but it's so true. I
mhm,
could be broke today, but if I had the right network and they trust me, I could lean on them and they could carry me through, or they could help me out,
yeah.
and vice versa, right? So the people that and those relationships that you have will carry you forward and beyond. So keep building those networks, and keep building those relationships.
Dang, that's true. That is so funny because the other day I was doing a live and I could not remember that freaking phrase. I knew it's like if you want to go alone, or if you want to go fast, go alone. But I'm like, if you want to go with other people, It's better. I don't know.
I'm if I hadn't seen it literally 10 minutes ago, I would have forgotten it, and even then, I may have forgotten it. I have the memory of a goldfish. Goldfish have about a memory of like 32 seconds, I think, and mine's probably half of that. So the fact that I even remember it is amazing.
Oh my God. That's hilarious. The fact that you even remember how much they remembered is funny.
It's an inside joke with an old high school friend. We used to call each other goldfish, hi goldfish, and it was because we had very short term memories.
I love it. That's so
Yeah.
fun. And I know you're on your break, so I don't want to take up too much of your time.
No, it's
Um,
all good.
cool. Well, do you have anything that you want to chat about, or any questions that you want to ask, or anything that you want the public, the three people on Instagram, to hear?
Well, I don't want this to be all about me. So, I mean, Jada, how can I help you? I mean, we're all about connecting and partnering up, and help bringing each other to our helping each other in our journeys to financial freedom, to time freedom, whatever it is your goal is. How can I help you?
So, kind of like what you were saying earlier, which I feel like is the theme of this now, is building those connections and working with people. And I love how you're working with a bunch of people on one deal, and then that led to another one, and then that led to another one that's even more creative. That's what I want to do. That's where I feel like I love Sub 2, because I love how much Pace talks about collaboration over competition. And
Hmm.
sometimes, at least in the beginning of doing all of this, it was really difficult to really feel that, because I would see, okay, here's another wholesaler who's in my market. Immediately, their competition. Like,
Hmm.
we're going to be buying for the same sellers and same properties. But nowadays, especially with like lending, I'm seeing much more opportunity to partner with other lenders, where it's like, hey, maybe we may be able to take care of the whole project, but
Hmm.
maybe we can just not. We can do half and half, so that instead of like us just getting the whole pie, it's like, okay, now we're building goodwill. So I guess
Yep.
that, like, I would love to build more goodwill. I really want to learn. You have more experience than I do, so I would love to learn like what you do on deals.
I mean, it's all about combining funds and finding those compatible partners, right? I think finding a good partnership is another thing that a lot of people struggle with. Kevin and Cece, they found really good partnerships. They have clearly defined roles. When you find the right partner, things just fall into place. I mean, have structures to, prevent abrasion and such. But,
Hmm.
like you said, uh, until we're at a certain scale, we're not Jamil, we're not in Pace yet, so we can't take down these $1 million deals ourselves. But collectively, there's got to be some Star Wars or Star Trek quote to this. My brother would know this, but like uh, uh, resistance is futile, or
Oh my
power
gosh,
in the
yeah.
collective, or something. But like you said with the pie, I mean, I might not be able to take down the whole pie, but you and I together could tackle that easily. So.
Yeah, so that would be the way that I would want to work with you. And I'm even playing with the fact of, or with the idea of, like, even if I could take down the whole deal, would I want that, or would I want to reach out to you and say, hey, Alvin, I've got this opportunity. I could totally take it down if you don't have the funds, but if you do, I just want to work with you. Like, let's come in and go on this together.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about bringing people along for the journey too. This friend that I was talking to yesterday, actually just got off the phone with him today to also about doing his first PML. He's a little skeptical, that fear of doing it your first time. So I said, if you're afraid to go in on your own, I'll go in with you, and bring you along. You'll be feel more secure that somebody's in it with you and
Yep.
at risk with it. We'll risk our skin together.
Hmm.
So definitely.
Let's do it. I'm excited. I'm gonna
Yeah.
find something.
And same with you. As soon as I find something, we'll be in touch for sure.
Yeah. Well, cool. I'm glad that, one, you came on here, and two, it's cool that it's with me. The first time that you're on like an Instagram live, and it's because
It
of
is
me.
the first time.
And
You and
taking
Kevin broke my cherries for social media. I'd never been on social media, at least on Insta, before Kevin. And then Kevin's like, "Hey, hold this camera for me. Come over and do this.
Oh
Let's
my
let's do
god.
this." And I'm like, "Kevin, you just took my virginity."
I think of pharmacists and I think of somebody who's like, no, I don't want to be, I want to be strictly professional. I'm a medical, blah, blah, blah. Then you're like, pharmacist? No, let's make it spicier. Let's put like licensed drug dealer or something and then say these things. Not what I was expecting from you.
Yeah, well, I try to keep it light. I've in school, I never forget one of my professors um, said I have a jovial attitude, and he probably meant it in a bad way, but I'm gonna embrace it.
Yeah. One of my
Yeah.
high school teachers actually, he said that I seem very, I don't think it was cartoonish was the word, but it was something along those lines. I was like, what?
Hmm.
And then I
You know
moved.
what? Just like Alexis posted something the other day. She was like, "There have been times in my life where people tell me to just be realistic," and then
Mm,
she said, "If I was realistic, I would never be where I am today." People who believe
yep.
in being realistic don't make it far. You have to
Yep.
have big dreams, shoot big, and you shoot for the stars, and if anything, you'll fall on the moon, right? So I don't even know if that's the correct thing, but you get my gist. So
Dude, I like that. Oh my gosh, that was fun. That was a good way to end this. So we'll end it
yeah.
here. But
So
thank
whatever it is, just keep moving forward. That's what it is. That's another YouTuber's thing. What's his name? I'm just copying all the statements from other people. But yeah,
Cool. Well, where can people find you, Alvin? What's the best way to get a hold of you?
I'm on Instagram at it's Alvin Lee, ITS Alvin Lee. You can find me on Facebook. I think I had to add an extra E on Facebook. So no scammers. I'll never ask you for money. Well, actually, maybe I will ask you for money, but it'll come with a contract and it'll be secured by real estate. Okay.
There you go.
Get on a video call. If it's not me, don't lend to him. If you get scammed, it's not my fault.
Thank you. Thank you for coming on today. I'm
All
really,
right.
really looking forward to working with you. And everybody,
Thank you.
reach out to him.
Yeah. Thank you for helping and having me. Shout out to Jada for making this possible, and we'll be in touch soon.
Absolutely. Take care.
Take care.
Bye.